Today, we're diving into an incredibly powerful memoir. It's a story about what happens when the life you've carefully built is just completely obliterated overnight. And it's about the long, hard fight to get your own story back. You know, this quote from the author really just cuts right to the heart of the whole thing, doesn't it? This story isn't just about surviving something awful. It's about that deep personal journey of figuring out who you are when the world is trying to tell you you're someone else.
So, where does a story like this even begin? Well, it starts in a childhood that was marked by a real lack of emotional connection, and this deep, sinking feeling of being totally invisible. And let's be clear, this was so much more than just being shy. The author talks about his silence as a way to survive. He basically learned how to disappear because he was convinced that wanting anything, like friendship or affection or even love, was just too risky. It would only prove that he didn't really matter. He was literally a ghost, just watching his own life from the sidelines. But somehow, that ghost found a way to become real, to be seen. And the story builds to this incredible high point in his life, a time filled with so much joy, real success, and this profound connection he'd never known. What's really fascinating is the psychological idea at the core of his new life. With his partner Lynn, he found something psychologists call earned secure attachment. And that's not just about falling in love. It's this amazing process of healing those deep childhood wounds through a really stable, trusting relationship as an adult. It's like finally learning what it feels like to be safe, to be loved, and to be truly seen for the first time. And you can see how he built this life, piece by piece, right here. It starts when he meets Ling in '92. Then he finds his calling as a therapist. And over the next 8 years, he puts together this life filled with purpose and love and stability. Basically, everything he never had as a kid. So this is the crucial point, right? After an entire life of feeling broken and invisible, he finally felt complete. He felt secure. He had a home, a career he loved, and a partner who was his family. The world, for the very first time, actually felt whole. But as the author puts it, this is the exact moment when the world tilts. That beautiful life he's so carefully built, it's about to come crashing down with just shocking speed. Just think about that. August 2000, a single month. That's all it took to completely wipe out the life that he had spent the better part of a decade creating. It was this absolute catastrophic domino effect. First, his career gets torn apart by false claims from an outside party. Then, the incredible stress from that just fractures his relationship with Lynn. And then, the final blow. The home they shared is sold right out from under him, leaving him with absolutely nowhere to go. All of this happened in just a few weeks. And what came next wasn't just a brief setback. It was a plunge into a long, dark, confusing period that the author calls the abyss. You can just feel the desperation in his words here. He was screaming for help into a world and to a family that just didn't seem to want to hear him. He felt completely and utterly abandoned. I mean, just look at the contrast between these two lives. It's so stark. Everything he had built, the love, the home, the career, his very identity, was replaced by its total opposite. He went from a life of security and belonging to just a daily fight for survival. And we're not talking about a temporary rough patch. For years, he was completely trapped in this cycle of homelessness, poverty, and just a total identity crisis. That ghost he thought he had banished for good, it was back, and it was more powerful than ever. But then, after nearly 2 decades of this struggle, a moment of absolute crisis becomes this unexpected and really powerful turning point. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When you have hit rock bottom, when you have absolutely nothing left, how do you even begin to find your way back? Well, the answer, believe it or not, came in December of 2019. After so many years of hopelessness, a suicide attempt lands him in the hospital. And that hospital stay would unexpectedly change the entire course of his life. And this is the moment everything changed. He introduced himself to the other patients using words like invisible and alone, but they were stunned. They looked at him and they saw a social butterfly, a guy who was connecting with everyone. For the first time in years, the reflection he saw in other people's eyes wasn't a ghost. It was a man who mattered. That single, transformative experience lit a fire. It sparked a new mission, to stop letting other people define his story, and to finally, for good,
reclaim his own narrative. So, this is the work he's doing right now. He poured everything into writing his story, into this memoir, refusing to be silent anymore. He actually became a certified peer support specialist, using his own lived experience to help other people navigate their trauma. And he keeps fighting for justice, pushing for change in the system, actively turning all that pain into purpose. After everything he's been through, the story leaves us with this final, really provocative question. Maybe the ultimate power isn't about waiting for some system to finally give you justice. Maybe it's found in the brave, defiant act of telling your own truth out loud and without any apology.